aging population would suggest that there is likely to be an increase in healthcare costs, in medical care, and also in an inability or an unwillingness to work. So these people are outside of the corporatocracy. So are we actually witnessing a Malthusian philosophy of only those that are fit enough to make a direct contribution to the corporatocracy, i.e. they work, they earn money, but most importantly, they pay taxes. And what's happening, of course, is the amount of money that most people earn is being greatly reduced. So the number of people that are on minimum wage, which I believe is £7.83 an hour right now. So that's what, barely £300 a week. So, that's £1,200 a month. And, the average rent for a reasonable property is probably at least half that. And if there's a family involved, then, a single wage earner is just not going to be sufficient. And in many areas of the country, it's just not possible for both parents, if it's a family, to find work that's anything beyond minimum wage. And even if they can, it's normally short-term contract, or it's 0 hours, so they're not getting a full working week. They're getting maybe 20, maybe 30 hours. And of course, all this is increasing the stress, the pressure. So ultimately, it suits the establishment. It suits the corporatocracy. For those who cannot make a direct contribution or do not want to make a direct contribution, it suits them for them to exit this mortal coil.
Well, I mean, if you'd have said that 10 years ago or maybe 5 years ago, it's becoming harder and harder to argue against that point. And these data that we've just presented exemplify that, because you've got mainline academics who are stating they have lost credibility in the Department of Health because they're not taking seriously what they're saying. They're saying a huge number of people are dying here that shouldn't be happening. You can't blame it on the flu. You can't blame it on the cold weather. You need to investigate, and they're not investigating. Therefore, you have to ask yourself the question, why? Well, the obvious answer will be it's politically uncomfortable. But we're not talking about 10 people here. They estimated up to 1 million people will die prematurely. And this is very, very serious. And if you listen to the interview by the author of that paper, the professor, you realize just how serious he is. And of course, beyond the topic of today, beyond the time we have, is the way society is moving. People may or may not realize they're investing and developing bubble cities now. Yeah, the bubble cities are going to be where the good and the chosen are going to be living. Now, these bubble cities aren't going to be able to hold 60, 70 millions. So who's going to be living in them? And what's the criteria? Is this also to do with the social credit system? And then the people left outside, what are they left with? The scraps? I mean, years ago, I would have thought it'd be crazy to say this, but now we're looking at this. We're looking at, as you state, it would appear that we're becoming a third world country.